I'm here with Graham Elwood, the host of The Political Vigilante, and also the co-host. He's the co-host of Government Secrets with Lee Camp. Check out his show on Rofkin. His channel was demonetized by YouTube, so check out Graham on Rofkin because his content is dangerous.
Dude, it's very dangerous, Jimmy.
YouTube,
I call them CIA tube. They can't handle me, so they try to demonetize me. So I'm over at the Rockfin, staying afloat, bobbing and weaving on my crypto.
So I covered a story about the FBI before that's like this. What the FBI does is they got nothing else to do, apparently. So they think up these crazy terrorism plots, and then they go to try to find these dupes and try to go, hey, here's a plot. You want to do it? Here's some money. Go do it. We're with you. And then they find the biggest idiot in the world who's maybe literally mentally impaired, and they get them to do these things, and they go, look, we caught some terrorists. That's what they do. They take morons and they fill them with terrorist plots, give them money to carry it out, and then they go, we caught them. Give the FBI some more money. So they're doing it again. This happens all the time, by the way. Happens all the time. So here's the latest. 13 men are charged in an alleged plot to kidnap the Michigan governor. You remember that? You remember that story, Graham? You remember that story, right?
I do remember that story quite well.
6 men face federal charges, another 7 charged under Michigan state laws. Oh, wow, look at this. But then BuzzFeed News, watching the Watchmen. Who's watching the Watchmen? The Watchmen. An examination of the case by BuzzFeed News reveals that informants acting under the direction of the FBI played a far larger role than has been previously reported. People working with the FBI did more shady things. Wow, you don't say. Look at that. Working in secret, they did more than just passively observe and report on the actions of suspects. Instead, they had a hand in nearly every aspect of the alleged plot, starting with its inception. Just like I told you they do. They think up these plots. They find dupes to do it. They convince them to do it, and then they finance it. Then they go, we caught them. It's their own plot they thought up. The extent of their involvement raises questions as to whether there would have been even a conspiracy without them. Meaning if the FBI wasn't around, there wouldn't have been any crime. Nobody would have did this. So they weren't just monitoring the farm, they planted the seeds.
It's weird because I'm sure this has nothing to do with this at all, that we found out January 6th that the head of the Proud Boys and the head of the Oath Keepers were both FBI informants.
Whoa!
Weird. What a wacky coincidence that is, that this event they knew was going to happen. They don't send any extra cops. A Black Lives Matter, just one little Black Lives Matter rally in one town, the cops show up armed to the teeth.
Yes.
Yet they have credible intel. 100,000 people are going to show up at the Capitol, and they basically have a handful of Capitol cops. The DC police aren't there. There's no National Guard there. There's nothing. And we find out later, and this is what the FBI, it sounds like what they do. They get the group of people, they wind them up and say, you guys should go do this. They do it, but the FBI is somehow behind it. And those two, the Oath Keeper guy and the Proud Boys guy, both are FBI informants. So I got to ask this question. I know that means now I'm a pro-Trumper or something if I ask this question, but I'm not. This is how the FBI does this. They've been infiltrating activist groups. This is what they do. We can't trust them. We can't trust our own government and our own police department in any way, shape, or form.
100%. A longtime government informant from Wisconsin, for example, helped organize a series of meetings around the country where many of the alleged plotters first met one another and the earliest notions of a plan took root. Rumor had it the guy even brought beer to the meetings. The Wisconsin informant even paid for some hotel rooms and food as an incentive to get people to come. The Iraq, so he's trying to get people to come so the FBI is paying for people's rooms, buying people food. Hey, come to this big terrorist plot meeting. We got you covered. We'll cover your travel and your lodging. Who does? The FBI. The Iraq war vet, Dan, became so deeply enmeshed in a Michigan militant group that he rose to become its second in command, encouraging members to collaborate with other potential suspects and paying for their transportation to meetings. You want to kidnap the governor? Come on, I'll give you a ride. He prodded the alleged mastermind of the kidnapping plot to advance his plan, then baited the trap that led to the arrests. So these people, you see what's happening. And it's so easy to find out. Buzzfeed was able to do it. All but one of the 14 original defendants have pleaded not guilty, and they vigorously denied that they were involved in a conspiracy to kidnap anyone. Last week, the lawyer for one defendant filed a motion that included texts from the FBI agent to a key informant, the Iraq War veteran, directing him to draw specific people into the conspiracy, potential evidence of entrapment that he said the government inadvertently disclosed. So they're entrapping people, which is illegal. And they inadvertently leaked that evidence that they were entrapping people. One of the lead prosecutors handling the case was reassigned in May, pending an attorney general audit into whether he had withheld evidence about deals cut with informants during a murder and arson trial in Oakland County in 2000. Wow. And on Sunday, in a matter apparently unrelated to the alleged kidnapping conspiracy, one of the lead FBI agents in the case was charged in state court with assault with intent to do great bodily harm. These are the guys who are breaking up the kidnapping plot that they invented themselves. Between 2012 and 2018, the FBI spent an average of $42 million a year on payments to informants, which it officially calls confidential human sources, according to a recent audit of the program by the Justice Department's Inspector General. Many of the defense attorneys have argued that the Watchmen would never have been involved in any kind of plot at all if it weren't for Dan, the FBI informant. It was Dan, the combat veteran, who taught the Watchmen the military tactics, the attorney claimed. After agreeing to work with the FBI, Dan would be given $24,000 and a new car for his services. Hey, you start a kidnapping op, it's $24,000 for a governor, $50,000 for a president. Mayor, it's like $5,000 to $6,000 depending on the city. Dan, of course, has not been charged. Nor has the other 3% organizer, Robeson, leading many to suspect that he, too, had been working on the government's behalf. Boy, members of hate groups and people who initiate kidnapping governors, just the kind of company that the FBI keeps, ladies and gentlemen. Robeson has denied nothing in his own criminal case, yet he has a gun. But his lawyer argued he'd also had something else, permission as a confidential informant to engage in illegal conduct. Robeson's action, no matter how far outside the lines, were done with authorization from the FBI. And now you know the rest of the story. It's not in this article, but I read another article, Graham, that said that there were, I might get the numbers off because I don't have the facts in front of me, but there was, say, 8 people in a van going to do the kidnapping, and 5 of those people were FBI.
I mean, this is just so insane. The FBI, we're all supposed to believe, you know, in the TV shows they put out in the movies that they're just going to put an undercover guy in one of these, you know, crazy organizations and then just get evidence. That's what we're told how it works. And that's what we would assume they would do, right? Oh, we're going to put FBI people undercover, and then they're just going to witness these organizations committing crimes, and then they collect evidence and that's what we think they were supposed to be doing. That's what they should be doing if these, and there's some scary groups out there, whatever. But no, they go there and organize something well beyond what these groups ever even thought of doing. They train them. They give them military tactics. I mean, this is insane. This is the FBI, and this happened under Trump. It happened under Obama. It's happening under Biden. We have this rogue, crazy fascist state, and it has very little to do with whether there's a Democrat or Republican in the White House. I mean,
it has
this
nothing.
has been going on.
Yeah, I mean, the person who militarized the police was who? Barack Obama. And the person who's doing it again is Joe Biden. So they just invented another intelligence agency. It's called the Capitol Police. They gave them $2 billion. They're opening up offices in every state so they can go investigate you. Another spy agency Joe Biden invented. You happy? You happy you voted blue, you fucking suckers? Our live shows are back. August 4th, we're in Burbank. August 7th, we're in Chicago. We're going to Portland. We're going to Boston. We're going to everywhere. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for tickets.